It's the Dave and Doc Podcast. Doctor recommended. Take only as directed. May cause dizziness, blurred eyesight, a sense of nervousness, anxiety, loss of sleep, diarrhea, a sense of wonderment, a new meaning of life, minor memory loss, and could cause BO in rare occasions.
Hello, hello.
Happy day, happy day. It's Earth Day.
It's Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day,
Happy
man.
Earth Day.
Mother Earth. As the polar ice caps are melting.
It's show number 48, folks, on Earth Day of the Dave and Doc Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I am Doc.
All things Dave and Doc related on our website at daveanddoc.com. That's Dave, AND-DOC.com. See it, hear it, live it, love it.
See it, say it, sign it, the letters of the alphabet.
And send us some money. That would
What's
be
that
great.
guy's name? Jack, what is it? Jack Hartman.
Jack Hartman?
Jack Hartman. He does a lot of kid videos, like see it, say it, sign it,
Oh,
the letters
I'm
of the
thinking of
alphabet.
Jack Handy from SNL.
No, not the same, not the same. Hello, folks.
Hello,
Welcome,
folks.
Welcome. No.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Hey, it is Earth Day.
It is Earth Day.
Show number 48.
I know, man. We're close.
We're so close.
We're so close.
I'm working on a little montage to open the show for number 49.
I love it.
Because...
And I love we're celebrating that one versus the 50. I mean, we'll celebrate 52, but...
Oh, yeah, 50 definitely.
But, I mean, I think it's pretty cool.
It is cool. I mean, listen, we've done after today, assuming that we make it through this show without killing each other. It'll be show number 40. We've done 48 shows.
I know, it's pretty cool.
It's over a year's worth of shows.
That's cool.
We've taken a little bit of time off here and there, but
Because sometimes you got to live your life.
sometimes you do, and you got to rest a little bit.
Got to get a truck. Some people get sick.
Yeah. You got to get a truck.
Vacations
Vacations
that I go on.
and kids. Yeah, I don't ever leave the house.
That's why you're well rested. You're like, hey, I feel good.
I've been in this room for 8 years straight.
That's good stuff.
I don't. We should talk about that sometime. Just about I don't like leaving the house. I think we've kind of talked about it a little bit before because I'm an introverted extrovert.
I know. Yeah, because you're not a recluse.
No, not at all.
You're not at all. It is very interesting. We can do that. Yes, but that could be like a whole show.
It really could be.
So
Therapy session with Dave and Doc.
But today, folks.
Today,
celebrating Earth Day. You know what time it is. We've got some Earth Day dad jokes. And I think Dave's really going to like these. Okay. All right.
Can't wait.
Why did the woman go outdoors with her purse open?
Why?
Because she expected some change in the weather.
Of course she did. In Knoxville, it's a 50% chance of whatever.
What happens when it rains cats and dogs?
What?
You've got to be really careful not to step in a poodle.
Oh, that's... Good God. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
What is a tree's least favorite month?
Least favorite. I what?
September.
I knew it. I thought you said season at first, and I'm like, well, it's got to be fall. But okay.
Why are recycle bins optimistic?
Why?
Because they're full of cans. I don't like that one.
That's ridiculous. Whoever wrote that should be investigated.
Oh. Why do tornadoes zigzag?
Why's that?
Because they're dizzy.
Well,
And this is my favorite. What kind of shorts do clouds wear?
What kind?
Thunderwear.
Oh. Thought you were going to say depends.
Depends on whether it's leakage or not.
Hey-o.
Right? Hey-o. Oh, there we go. There we go.
A lot to talk about.
Yes,
I don't know if we'll get to everything today, but I did want to hit you with this.
Watch out for the glaciers. They're melting. Did you read that article this week?
Yeah, the glaciers.
Of course, they're like, in 2060, we might have a problem. It's like, so we don't really know because that's a long way away. Anyway, we got to go.
It is funny. I mean, we talk about you're right. We need to spend Jordan Peterson talks about people and they're talking about climate change and everything, and he made some really good points. Like, it's like, I appreciate you wasting all your time to talk about all this, but I mean, what can you really do?
Right.
To fix it. Plus, they were talking about like CO2 emissions. Thank you.
The
Good
greenhouse gases, which a large volume of that goes in the ocean.
That word we didn't learn back in Virginia.
It's okay.
Emissions. It's not an omission, but like CO2 is like at a 0.02 of the atmosphere or something like that. So it's like that's not even. I don't know. Like, we're talking about how horrible it is, and it's like
as long as the oxygen is still hanging in the 20% and the nitrogen's around 70%, we should be fine.
I think so.
We're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. Anyway, but a lot to get to today.
We'll talk about some depressing Earth shit some other time.
That's it. Because I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high.
I hope they helped him fix his gate. I would if I lived close to Afro Man, I would totally help him fix his gate. 100%.
Of course.
Afro Man.
We'd be up there with our power tools.
That's right.
That's it.
Well, Chelsea would be. I would invite Chelsea over to do that because I'm not going to do it. So this one was just kind of funny. Just there's some stuff from around
We've got a little hodgepodge.
Yes.
But it'll dovetail in.
This is kind of some stuff. This is from New York, as a matter of fact, and then we've got some local-ish stuff. And then it might unravel from there. So
we have structure, but there's only so much structure.
Do you know who Kathleen Karate is?
No,
Karate. C-O. Yeah,
not like
not like
put
the kid.
Put you with a roundhouse kick, knock you upside the head, knock you out.
Yeah, it's not Kumite.
Kumite.
It's
my
not.
body's ready. My heart's on fire.
It's not Frank Dukes.
No. Okay, so
she
Kathleen. The name sounds familiar.
So
it does sound familiar, but I'm trapped in the 3 kids under 6 and the medical world and
that's
reading, trying to read business articles and journal articles and. So, but the name does sound familiar, and it may get even more familiar once you start telling me what's happening.
So she's from New York, of course, and she's a former teacher. Now,
they're like Karen McDougal.
Yeah.
Wasn't she a former preschool teacher?
I think so.
Sorry.
In 2022, in New York, rat sightings in the city increased by 74%. 74%, and there was already a lot of rats anyway in New York City.
Was it Splinter's offspring?
Yeah, that's right. They're living with some turtles underneath the.
Anyway,
so Mayor Eric Adams decided that they needed someone to be in charge of rats in New York.
Oh,
getting rid of rats in New York.
Oh,
and so the former teacher Kathleen Karate
became the head of the rat infestation.
She is now the rat czar.
Oh.
The official term is Director of Rodent Mitigation.
Stop it.
Director of Rodent Mitigation. Her job is...
Dorm. She's the dorm.
She's the dorm. Her job is to kill rats.
I mean, that could be kind of fun.
Requirements for the job.
Oh, they have a job description? Shut up.
Requirements for the job included being highly motivated and somewhat bloodthirsty with a swashbuckling attitude. Not joking.
Dave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kathleen. This is a very serious problem that you are trying to mitigate. The swashbuckle got me. You had me at the dorm. Yeah. The swashbuckle kind of took me over the top. Bloodthirsty attitude. We're not going to bite the heads off of them, Ozzy. That was a bat, I know, but a rat that ate the bat, that all the things and all the diseases, man.
So she's
been in this role about a year then.
So she is.
How's it going?
So I think she's just been in the
they
role
created
for about
last
a week.
year. Oh, they created it last year, but
so the report from last year was about the rats.
Oh, and so they made this happen
as
That's
a 413.
fantastic.
So yeah,
please tell me her salary is posted online.
It is not, but I'm sure you could probably find that. It's a city position
because that's public information.
Yeah. Mayor Adams said it was clear we needed someone solely focused on leading our rat reduction efforts across all 5 boroughs. Yeah.
5 boroughs.
Yes.
No, 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 no. You can't see me.
She was quoted as saying, "I look forward to sending the rats packing."
Oh,
Rat Pack.
there you go.
Yeah. So
Wow.
if you live in New York and you're upset about the rats, Kathleen.
Kathleen is on the case.
Kathleen is.
How did you find this?
I find weird stuff, man. I just find weird news.
I want to know how much money she's making because that's some taxpayer dollars.
No, it's
being
6
spent.
figures. I mean, you know.
Well, it'd have to be. I mean, that can't. What's her metric? How creative did you get while disposing of these rats? How many of these rats? What is the reduction in the rat population?
Do you think that?
How much feces did you have to ingest in the, or breathe in rather?
Do you think there's like a line item in the budget for like rat traps, like Walmart rat traps?
Oh, you know it, man.
You know,
Everything has to be accounted for.
cheese.
Was it
peanut butter?
The DEFCON 5, whatever the stuff is that they eat.
The-
We've got those Viator or whatever they are traps. Those are the big daddy traps, man.
Oh yeah, those things those things will hurt you if you accidentally stick your finger in there. Or
That'd be
something.
why I don't do that. But I've caught me some rats and some mice.
And also just to go along with this story, they interviewed some people in New York about the rats, and I have exclusive audio from someone who lives in New York. While they were being interviewed, a rat like ran across their shoe, and this was this was the audio. Oh, shit! And so that was and that's why they made somebody with this position.
It's truly a catastrophe.
It
that
is.
happened.
It is.
I mean, I don't know how they ever recovered.
So yeah, Kathleen Karate is now the.
I mean, this is important,
The
but
rat
now
czar.
here's the interesting thing. You know, rats have a few different kinds of diseases. You know, like plague. Nothing
right.
serious, just plague.
Smallpox.
Chlamydia. No, second.
It's really
How
bad.
did you get this thing?
Well, I mean, as we've talked about, it is ramping up, right? Even in the rat population. Girl gave me chlamydia.
Meow.
Nothing to clap about.
So, man, I can't. Maybe they could do service announcements like on The Price is Right. Control the rat population. Have your rats spayed or neutered.
Maybe. I mean,
Put a little dynamite on them. Send them down in the sewers.
so
Crocodiles will eat them.
at the risk of
I mean,
of PETA coming after
this is
me.
going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, but so there was an experiment at one point in time with to chemically alter the DNA of mosquitoes,
Yes.
and so that all the mosquitoes would just be female, I think, or just male,
I think it was male.
That would make more sense because if you get a few females out there, they're going to be really popular. So, so I guess you make it all male. Couldn't we do the same thing with rats? I mean, is that a big deal? Like, what do rats bring to? I don't know what rats bring to the
Society.
ecosystem.
I'd have to look that up. I would not think a whole big bunch.
They're good eating. But I mean, I don't know what they bring. Like,
Do you see any cows around here? Nope. We got rats.
I mean,
rat
it's like,
burger.
It's like mice. I mean, what do they do? I mean, they don't really bring any kind of value, right?
I don't.
It's a reason that people don't kill snakes around here, which is obscene to me. If there's a snake within my vision, it needs to die. I'm just sorry.
Yeah, we had to put a black snake to his unfortunate end because he was curled up beside my front porch steps,
Oh no.
and that was last year. Yeah, I was pulling in the driveway, and poor Kate was terrified because they were on their bikes riding down.
Oh, no.
And they saw it,
Oh no.
and so I had to get it.
Yep.
I felt bad about getting it, but you can't. I can't take the risk.
Did you drown it in a pool? Did you teach it a lesson and all the other snakes a lesson
I taught it a lesson.
and video it?
Yes,
And then
I didn't video.
put a TV outside your house to show the other snakes. This is what happens. This is what happens.
Actually, what I really did is I just kind of strung it up from the tree to hang there so that everybody could see it.
There you go.
That was it.
That's the
That was it. That was it.
Roman style.
It was just for all the world to see. And hang them for the world to see. Isn't that from Bane? Yep. Anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, so congratulations.
So now they're
going
going to have a snake problem because part of what they're going to introduce snakes in there and all kinds of craziness.
Probably.
And then, oh man,
we do actually have some listeners in New York. So there you go.
We'd love your comments on this because I mean, I am not a fan of rats.
No.
So and fortunately we don't have a huge problem here. I don't
74% in 2022 rat sightings. Up 74%.
Now, do you?
How do you calculate that? I don't know. Like, where do you get those metrics?
And do you think people are just more aware?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
More people working from home. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, how do you? I mean, how can you? I guess
don't know.
So they're basing that on like exterminator calls or something. I mean, how do you quantify that?
I don't know. I don't know how they get those numbers. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
that's
that's
like a job for Rat Man.
Maybe. Do you think one of Kathleen's jobs is going to be counting rats in the city? My God, there's not enough money.
Taking an inventory.
We're going to pay you $350,000 a year.
They'll put a tracker. They'll put a tracker in one of them to lead them back to the hive.
That's right.
Oh, dude.
With the Rat King, and the Rat King, who's 6'4".
Right.
His name's Buford.
Right.
He's unemployed. He's
Buford von Radica.
He used to deliver pizza. He's just hanging out, smoking a cigar.
Hamato Yoshi.
Hey, speaking of restaurants,
does this tie in with the rats? Because this is going to make
no. There's no. Rats.
Okay. I feel better because there's always that of the droppings on your whatever. Your pho. It's like they deuced on my pho. Well, I'm not eating that. What the pho?
The pho? We've talked about a few establishments around the Knoxville area before. One of those that sells wholesale furniture.
That's right, in Knoxville.
In Knoxville, and we're clever enough to give you what the name of the place is without saying the name of the place.
That's right.
And that's because Doc makes me use my better judgment. That's why this is not just the Dave Show. Because if it was, I would just say, I hate these people, and here's why. And then I would try to call them while I was doing the show. And
radio edit.
So I've mellowed in my old age. But this one was blasted all over the place on WATE's website, so I don't really think it's an issue because more people probably watch and listen to WATE than watch and listen to us. So
for now.
That won't always be the case.
No, we're planning our taking over the world.
That's right. It's a
every week.
It's a step-by-step process. So this again from WATE, La Palma de Ora Mexican Restaurant.
Where is that?
So I didn't know either. It's on Clinton Highway.
La Palma de Ora.
La Palma de Ora. The inspector found numerous amounts of unknown black debris in the restaurant's salt shakers and sugar dispensers. And there were some other violations here too. You can read the whole thing.
Unknown black debris.
Unknown black debris. There was apparently they were storing salsa, and some other things at like a 51 degree temperature, which is apparently it has to be under 40 something for to slow the growth of bacteria.
Oh my. Yeah,
there was like no sink available for the employees to wash their hands, like readily available. The dishwasher was broken. This is just from memory. I read the article once, so that you can go on WATE and look for this, and it's there. But
the bottom line is, go to Salsaritas.
Their health score was 60.
Yeah.
It reminds me of
is Don Dare still doing these things?
I don't know.
He got older. I don't know if he retired yet or not.
So it reminds me of Genghis Grill. You remember the Genghis Grill? And I loved it. I'd eat there today.
Mongolian barbecue.
Yeah. And it was just raw meat. You put it in a bowl, mix your whatever, give it to the dude. The dude cooks it and brings it to you. Mm-hmm. And Steven and I used to eat there all the time. And I would walk by their health score and I watched it go down and down. I'm like, 95. I mean, they probably left a broom somewhere or something, right? Then it was like 88. And I'm like, that's still good. Down in the 70s, I'm like, okay. I mean, somebody probably, I don't know.
Well, in some violations, my understanding, take off more points than others.
Sure.
So like
sure.
if you have a big one, the cottage cheese in the Ziploc baggie was at 75 degrees and warm.
Was actually in an oven.
Yeah.
That's where they stored it.
Beside the whap.
Right beside the WAP. So it gets a 60. And also there was a comment about their the something about their managerial staff, like they really weren't managing the restaurant, like they had no idea about anything going on in the restaurant. So anyway,
So don't go there.
so don't go there, I guess.
La Palma d'Ora.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just crushed you.
Am I weird to like actually want to go there?
No.
now?
Are,
Am I
you
weird?
want to go there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're weird. No, man, there ain't no way.
Like I want to go.
It'd be one thing if it was like P.F. Chang's and they came in with like a 82 and it's like, okay, I'm going to P.F. Chang's because I know they're going to reverse the curse and be doing really well. But La Palma d'Ora,
You think?
I mean,
think
there's
it's a
something about
happy
something
hour?
with a La Palma that you're just going schmegma and whatever else. And
Do you think?
I'm just saying, I don't think so.
Do you
I mean,
think
the unknown substance in the sugar, like
Oh, I
they
know, it's
couldn't identify it.
disgusting. Yeah.
I mean, what is that? It's like there's a filler, because they'll put rice. Like you can put rice in the salt shaker,
Yeah.
so the moisture doesn't cause the
That's right.
the salt to become sticky.
yeah.
But a black substance in the sugar.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard of other types of sugar. The Rolling Stones sang about some.
Right? I mean, you should don't go there.
So, do you think
The
instead
number two special really is a number two special.
Do you think that instead of happy hour, they have like the health score discount or something going on right now, where you come in and if you quote their health score, you get
VIP
half off.
Drinks on me. Let me see what you're working with.
And here's the thing, folks. I mean, it's a Mexican restaurant. If you go there and drink enough tequila, it probably doesn't matter. It's probably going to kill whatever.
I'm gonna say you can pretty much kill it. Yeah.
Enough methanol will do that for you. So
Methanol or ethanol?
Ethanol.
Yeah.
Not methanol.
No, methanol.
Actually, I mean, maybe that would work too.
Well, you'll be dead. It'll be all right. Well,
The health score
I mean,
didn't really
that
matter.
would definitely bring a failing health score if you have methanol to drink. Anyway.
Yeah, so...
So La Palma d'Ora, and you want to go eat there? No, you're crazy. Let me tell you something. You don't, because you just Big Mama done told you don't mess with the food because the food mess with your booty hole.
That's true.
And
That's true.
I mean that's no good. It's no good.
Sorry, man. My chicken's actually alive. Could you do
be-
something about it?
You be meowing all night long. No way, man. You crazy. I will not be going. We will not be doing a show there. No.
Free
No.
fajitas.
Yeah.
Free fajita Friday.
No, we ain't going. I ain't doing it. But
I mean-
now I am a little concerned here. Like the manager's not managing the restaurant.
Yeah.
Obviously the customer service not good. Who's eating there is what I want to know.
I don't know.
Who is actually eating there? Because I mean that's a busy area.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. I guess everybody's going to be going to Pizza Inn now.
right? Or was that Ichiban? That Ichiban place over there, isn't it? Over there near the Walmart.
Yeah.
Ichiban.
Pizza Inn's an interesting spot.
Wings Express.
Oh, yeah. Wings Express.
Wings Express is over there.
Wings Express. And I've never eaten there.
I never have either. There's something about a Long John Silver's something else that's now a Wings Express. But I'm like,
Speaking of Chelsea earlier, she actually recommended.
did she eat at Wings Express?
She recommend, and she doesn't like wings, but she said she really likes Wings Express. Yep. So there
The
you go.
one on Clinton Highway?
The one on Clinton Highway.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How about that?
She says it's really good.
When she, well, I think she would be like, this is garbage if it wasn't good.
And DoorDash doesn't deliver from there yet, and I don't leave the house, so I haven't.
That's a
either.
whole nother episode.
I haven't.
So you have to actually, we'd actually have to go there.
Somebody would actually have to drive me there probably and say, "Hey, we're going to Wings Express." Like, okay, let's go to Wings Express.
I mean, that like changed my whole opinion there. Is that bad? Like one positive comment? Because I just never really thought about it. But I would not think she would want to go there because I could her being like, this is dump.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I don't know.
I don't know. She recommended it, so
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, but I can say I can't see her going to like crappy places.
Me either.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm. That's
well,
what
and she doesn't like wings anyway. So
how about that? Interesting. We'll have to go there. Maybe we can do the podcast there and wave to La Palma de Oro as it gets shut down.
I was going to say, as they put the tape around the.
That's right.
At some score, they will, right? Like if it gets to a certain score, they actually shut it down.
I mean, they give you, I guess with the 60, they give you so many days to fix it. And then if you don't fix it, then they close it up.
Maybe they should call Kathleen.
Oh, I guarantee you there's some rats up in that bitch. I mean, there's no doubt. Oh my goodness. Shoo.
Because I can't help myself. Here's some exclusive audio of the health inspector with the salt shaker as black debris started shaking out. He picks it up, shakes it, and that was exclusive audio that WATE doesn't have. Only the Dave and Doc Show.
That's right. That's DaveAndDoc.com. Oh, Seth.
This kind of falls into customer service a little bit, though. I mean, this kind of falls into that, right? I mean,
sure it can.
I'm sure they're.
We can talk about whatever we want.
They probably have good customer service there because they're afraid you'll sue them for eating black debris.
I can't get past it, man.
I don't know. Like, what the hell was it?
I can't get past it. Unknown. The fact that it's an unknown substance. I'm like, so we have to do like the scientific method on it, do a chemistry experiment to figure out what this is.
Like those field kits that police officers use.
Like that bothers me.
You put it in the thing and you shake it up. If it turns purple.
Yeah, that's what. I mean, that bothers me. Yeah. 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 So customer service. So yeah. Patient care, customer service. I don't consider patient care to be customer service. I see it is the service for the patient. So I understand, but it's a patient. You know what I mean? Like they're not a customer to me.
Correct.
But there are certain organizations in medicine, I mean, basically now they just refer to it as customer service. I'm like, but I don't think you're my customer. Does that make sense?
No, I get that, and I think it's become the universal term now.
I guess so, but but so what? So what? The reason we want to talk about this because I want to get your opinion because the principles of things do apply across business,
of course,
other things, and so interestingly. I'll have this happen sometimes, and I know you run into this. It seems, and this happened a few times this week, a little bit more than what we would normally expect, which is kind of why it was on my mind. Some people, there is nothing that you're going to be able to do to make them feel satisfied or secure in their healthcare plan.
That's correct.
Some people, it's like they want something to be wrong with them, which I always worry about that. I'm like, you really want something to be wrong with you. This is not good. I don't want anything to be wrong with me. Or they want it to be wrong, but they're not going to, they won't work with you to try to figure it out so you can actually help them. So you can't really give them that service because no matter what you do, it's almost like they're blocking you from trying to really get to what's really going on, or they're just not going to be satisfied. And so I was thinking about this, and I was like, that number one, that's always very scary because, my job is to, and my team's job, we're there to help and to try to figure out what's wrong with you and to get a plan to get you better. And there's lots of different things potentially that we can do to accomplish that. Sometimes it's just we will do some testing and that'll show us. Sometimes it's giving you a certain medication. Sometimes we have to send you to a specialist.
Anal swab.
I mean, right.
That's only when I show up.
Only if it winks at you.
All right.
And Dave's a winker.
Every time I show up, it's an anal swab.
It's okay. It's okay.
But my arm hurts, Doc. That's okay. Just shut up and bend over.
Just wink at me. That's it. That's it. And so you don't have chlamydia though, so that's good.
It's nothing to clap about.
Clap on, clap off the clapper. I know it's gonorrhea, but anyway. So here's my question to you. So this is what I want to talk about. So when you have situations like this arise in your business, because I know you manage your team, you are in the service industry,
right?
Data service, information technology service. So when this happens, and again, I can't go into huge details because I can't tell you necessarily what's wrong with these people because if they're actually listening, they're going to know that it's them. But what do you do So how do you handle it? And so what do you say to him? What do you do? And then I want to play a little devil's advocate. So you obviously have your go-to positive dealings to handle the problem. What do you really want to say to him, Dave? That's what I really. So I want to know both. I want to know what do you do, and then what do you really want to say to him?
So I can tell you this. I can tell you that in general, for me, first of all, if I end up on the phone with one of our customers, it's usually a big deal.
Gotcha.
Like,
Okay. Right.
Not that I'm a big deal. It's just if you get to the point where you're actually talking to me as one of our customers, something's went awry.
I got you. Okay. Okay.
So, and there's a couple of different scenarios that happen for us, and sometimes it is our fault, right? Or sometimes it's something unexplained. I work for a company that creates its own software, right? We write our own software, and we have hardware, and you cannot test for everything. I can say that well over 95% of the time, everything works just fine.
Sure.
There are
Which is
weird outliers and things. The things that you can't control are the environment that the equipment is in, because it's out of our hands. The same for you. You can't control what people are doing at home and in their car.
That's correct.
And in the club on Saturday night. So in general, what I say is, hey, I get why you're upset. Here is what I identified that we did wrong. Here's what we are going to do to correct it. And then ask for feedback. The flip side of that, we do have people that they're their own worst enemy, right?
Yes.
I mean, they are.
Yes.
And they,
fifth of liquor and smoking a carton of cigarettes will get you.
Well, sometimes people just, they're not telling you everything that they're trying to do, and they're not. And this is less specific about the job I'm working now, just in general.
Right.
What I've seen over the course of my career.
Because I think it is a general principle. It's just what you said.
And so what I've seen let me put it this way. There was a job I had in the last 10 years. There you go. You figure it out. There are some people listening right now laughing because they know exactly what I'm going to say.
And they're looking you up on LinkedIn otherwise.
And this was a good example of not particularly customer service, but it relates.
I'm with you.
It was people in the organization that had a lot of complaints. This isn't right. We've done this wrong for 20 years. We've done this wrong for 20 years. And what I come to find as I continue to get more gray hair and a little wiser is some people don't want to fix the issue, because then the purpose of why they are at the job just goes.
They just eliminated themselves. They worked themselves out of a job
because they've complained about something forever, and it's like, all right, well, we fixed that. Well, but it used to be an issue. It sure did, but it isn't now. And I think that I see that with people, like I told you, I get on a Dr. Phil kick about every 6 months. I do. He cracks me up. And, it is funny, though, the people that come on his show.
Fill in the blanks.
Which is, hit or miss. But I was going to actually say he needs to work on his set, but I mean, look at this shit. Right?
We've got good memorabilia.
We do.
And a Jason mask, I might add.
We do. We have a
little subtle. Look at that.
Right there. Little glow-in-the-dark Friday the 13th mask and on top of a chicken. There's a chicken behind that. But so what I see with people,
Jason choking the chicken,
people going on, that's how he drowned. That's
oh my God.
Oh, you didn't expect that one, did you?
Oh no, vein in my forehead popped out too on the camera. That's awesome. Anyway, so
Dave Mann, radio professional.
That's it. He's got it. Got this.
So what I see from him at times, there are people that the issue isn't what the affliction is. The issue is that they can't let go of the affliction, or what will they have to talk about. And I think this happens with our elderly community quite a bit. I think it happens all across the spectrum, but I have seen people who just don't want. They want to have the problem,
but they don't want to be helped.
Because the problem is is actually like a motivational thing, and it's sad as shit. And I don't know how you handle those. And I've seen people that are their own worst enemy. Like, hey, you told me not to put a taco in this thing. Yeah, right. I kind of felt like that was right. I didn't feel like that should have to be said.
Right, but we did actually say it just to make sure that we did. Right.
But then you put a taco in it, and you're saying it overheats. Yeah, now it's overheating. Well, you put a taco in it. Don't do that.
And right, it's like that, and it's funny you say that, because I will tell people it's like that. Well, every time I do this, it hurts, and I'm like, this is not. And I will tell them, like, this is not genius medicine. Don't do that anymore. You don't have to do that maneuver. Like I had a person the other day, like really odd position of their leg in the shower. This just hurts my knee like crazy, and I looked at him and I said, I don't think you have to put your knee in that position to wash yourself, though. I said, you have the hand. Yeah. I said, why don't you just, go underneath? And it was like I was, I had solved the riddle of life, and I was like, but if it hurts, why would you do that?
I think that it has to be a mental condition. It has to be, because there are people that just, they want to be, I mean, here's an example. Here's a good example. I've had the back issues for years or whatever. That if there was a fix for it, that was like a legitimate fix, not from space, like some other facility,
some unknown black substance in the sugar.
Yeah, it's like we can do this.
It's venom. It's venom.
Yeah, like the nerve ending thing. No, thank you. I think that's a little weird to me. But
the ablation.
Yeah, it's like maybe at some point maybe I would do that. But if there was like some way to actually just fix it,
right.
Awesome. Cool.
Right.
I don't want that to be a problem anymore, but I do think that people, I think it's hard to do. The customer service aspect, I mean, I guess, and I just filled out your survey, so this is very timely. Your like 30 question flipping survey that like was just.
I mean, I've looked at them. It's a lot.
It's like, really?
And I was like, man,
really?
They ask, and some of it's redundant. So if it's a bad answer, you get dinged on it more than once. It's like, but this is the same thing. So you just double dinged us.
So I don't know, particularly for you, because you see people that come in and like, my elbow hurts. Well, hey, this salve will fix it.
That's right. Put some salve on it.
There's some new salve and it'll fix it.
Rub it on 4 times a day.
I don't like that salve. Well, then what? I mean, then, okay. Then your elbow's dicked then, all right? For the rest of your life, you've got a dicked elbow. I don't know what to tell you.
And the good thing is there's lots of things we can do, but it's always a balance of, because you'll get people like they don't want to do anything. And it's like, but if you're worried about it,
right,
and you've brought it up, then we probably, it's our due diligence to try to investigate what's going on. Because, most of the time, we can tell you what's wrong with you. We can figure it out. Now, it doesn't mean we know it from the 2 sentences you gave me and can't really describe beyond that. But we can figure it out, or I can send you to a specialist and they will help figure it out. But some people just don't want to be helped. Like they just want to, and they're just looking at you, and it's like, so you just want to complain about it.
Yes.
And you describe it as being quite debilitating, but then you don't really want to do anything. And I'm like, I don't know how to. So basically what I do is I offer the options, and if they straight up decline it, I just have to document saying, here are the different possibilities of what's going on. Patient declines all of this.
Do you see it more in the elderly community?
It's interesting. So by default, yes. I mean, being an internist, because I take care of older people. I mean, I like taking care of people basically, 30 and up, and most of my patients are 50 and up.
Right.
And that's what I enjoy doing. So by default, yes, because my volume is such, that's how it's put together. But, it's interesting. I do feel like there is a growing number of younger, kind of in the 20s range that is coming up with like weird stuff wrong with them, like can't really describe it well. and just generally just don't feel good. And it's like, well, that's like the most dangerous thing in the world, because that could be a lot of different stuff.
Full body scan.
Right. And at the same time, it's like, but you also don't want your patient to have to pay $10,000 out of pocket, because not everybody has $10,000 laying around.
Right.
So it's crazy. But yeah, there's definitely, I would definitely say, there is a certain amount of that 20-year-old ish population that's having more stuff go wrong with them. It's it's very interesting.
Interesting. Because I mean, I
do have more people that it's older people.
I mean, I envision the people going to the mall, right? The mall walkers.
Oh yeah.
And then they sit down on the in the bench, and it's not how you doing, it's here's what's wrong with me.
Right.
Here's what's wrong with me, and you get this litany, of here's the things that are wrong with them. I think some people wish for illnesses, and I think that's terrible.
And it is worrisome, because you do worry about their what's going on mentally with them. I mean, because you're like, okay, you again, I don't want to be sick. I don't like being sick, and so, and most people are like that, but you do have people, and it's just hard. So when you get a customer flipping back, that just, there's nothing that you can do that's satisfying them. I mean, so what, when you get the feedback, like, what do you want to say to them when they're just being ridiculous? And this isn't really a loaded question, and I'm not saying, and it doesn't have to be like I just like to cuss them out, punch them in the face. That's not what I'm looking for. Like, what do you really want to say to them, while still kind of, I guess, being professional and dealing with the problem, versus what kind of, in today's world, what you really kind of have to say?
Yeah, I mean, I'll actually say how I would answer that is like, I'm actually pretty good with, and I'm not trying to brag. It's just, I really try to level set with people, and just finally I get to a point where I'm like, listen, here's the deal. Okay.
This is what we got.
It is never going to do that. It is not designed.
I got you.
It will never happen. I'm sorry about that. Now, there are times that somebody's a little more delicate, and you have to say, whatever, and then, in the back of your mind, you just want to say, it's the thing where, like, when you have employees, every once in a while you're like, let's just clock out for a minute. Okay, let's just oh boy. And let me just tell you how life is, okay? Because I've lived a little bit longer than you, and it's, here's how this is going to go. Like, I understand it's like a bad relationship, that you're in that euphoric phase and everybody's in love, and, the birds are singing, the squirrels are mating, waka waka. And, all the shit's going on. And then there's...
They're married, of course.
And they're married, and they were married. And you're like somebody looking from afar. I can actually specifically think about a relationship that I will not mention from somebody else that the minute it happened, a friend of mine were talking like, yeah, that's going to end really bad, because you just know, because the people, or their history or whatever.
Sure.
And sometimes, I mean, people are just a glutton for punishment, though. I mean, it's just like they just want to harp on. I don't know what you do for those people. Like, I mean, at some point you just have to say, particularly with you, it's like, hey, I've got 1,100 other patients I got to see. You have a good day and enjoy that wart. It's just, okay, it's going to eat its way down to your rectum. So then it is what it is. So I don't know. I think we have a society of people like this, though. I mean, I think it's a large group in the population that they want to be.
It's almost like a cult following.
It is, and it's kind of like it's like
an underground cult.
I think everybody is looking for a way to fit in to, speaking of Earth Day, the world, right? Like, everybody's trying to look for something that makes them related to something else. Because I think most people say, well, I just want to be different. No, you don't. I mean, listen, we're all about the same, right? We all like to sleep, and we all like to eat chocolate. We're all about the same, okay? It's a pretty broad brush there. But that's there's my years of clinical training coming
all inclusive.
All inclusive, right? in general, we all like sleep and chocolate. But I mean, for the most part, we're all pretty much the same. George Carlin used to talk about the little things that make us the same, right? The little things. And so I think people, try to find ways to relate to other people so they can be a part of a group or a whatever. And I think that is just a mindset, like a mental thing where people say, hey, if I've got herpes, then I'm part of the herpes crowd.
Oh my goodness, right?
And and what a group to be a part of.
I think you made a good point earlier, and this is one of the tricky things in medicine because you were saying like, okay, the machine won't do that.
Right.
Well, here's the thing: God made us all a little bit different, and there's always some level of uncertainty in medicine, which I think is hard for some people to really be able to understand that and accept that. And so there's always a chance, and so you're always like, oh my goodness, is this like the one time when something like it's like something really, really bad is going on, and that's always in the back of your mind, and so I just try to be as nice as I possibly can, and try to just give them all the options in the scenarios, and while at the same time it's like, okay, we could go super down the rabbit hole and give you like 20 different potential things, but that's like information overload,
right?
And then the patient's just more bewildered. Which maybe I should do that more, and then they just be confused and be like, oh, yes.
Start making up words.
These aren't the droids you're looking for. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
So I'm sorry, man, but your whiz banger on your overflapper is jacked up. And we have a pill for that.
They call that the Mona Lisa surgery.
There is an episode of House where this guy had some illness.
He had a whiz banger?
No, he had this weird, he had this weird illness, and House was like, okay, we're giving him a placebo and kicking him to the curb. We're done with this. So House walks in and says, yeah, you have a rare condition called something. I mean, just made something up. And he said the cure is called Nabicin. And he gave him and he said, oh, well, what's the prescription? He goes, these 2 pills. And they were just like sugar pills or whatever. He's like, take these 2 Nabicins and that's the end of it or whatever. And the guy turned out to actually be sick because it's an episode.
Of course, right? Because it's an episode of House, because it couldn't be.
And but
he wasn't malingering.
But it is funny, and the reason I brought up placebos is you just wonder sometimes. That's a good way to tell if something's just mental with someone. It's like, hey, you have this rare condition, but it is treatable. Here's a regimen of medicine, and then they come back and say, yeah, it's cured. There wasn't anything wrong with it.
It was green sugar pills.
Yeah.
And I mean, back in the day, I'm sure when medicines were just hanging out in the doc's office, that there were sugar pills that were given just to reassure.
Oh, of course.
And it's a different world now. I think
maybe that's why the rise of chlamydia. Everybody's taking sugar pills and think they're curing.
Just trying to get some stress relief, What is that? Oh,
we should go back to the old medicine, like the elixirs, man, with the morphine and
elixir and some salve.
Yeah,
that's it. Some salve on it and drink this.
I drank this and I felt better. Well, I'm sure you did. As you started hallucinating.
Yeah, opium will make you feel better. Right? Kicking on Grandpa's cough syrup. Yes. Anyway, well, thank you for that. I do appreciate it because again, the general principle's the same. It's different versus, we're talking about human body versus the equipment, software, that sort of stuff. But, it is, you kind of just have to be patient, talk them through it. And I mean, because sometimes you just want to say, do you really just not want me to help you?
Right. I mean, yeah.
I don't say that because I don't want to, but you're, in your mind, you're like, but we really are trying to help you. I want you to understand. I will say that. I'll be like, no, we really are trying to help. Yeah. And most people, are like, yeah, oh no. But then they still don't want to do anything. And I'm like, makes you wonder.
I know. And it's got to be tough as a doctor because, they keep coming back, right, to see you. And it's like, well, my elbow still hurts. Well, yeah.
And you won't let me get an x-ray. You won't let me get an MRI. You won't go to physical therapy. You won't let me do an injection. You won't take the Naprosyn or Napacin. Napacin. Won't let you take that. You won't even take the Napacin. What am I supposed to do? Put some salve on it. I don't like the salve. Well, now we're kind of out of options.
And then when you get their elbow and you move it to the left and you hear, oh, shit! Then you know that you've made them mad.
Right. That's it. That's good stuff. Oh my God.
So, all right. So here's a choice for you. Okay.
This or that. Oh, we're bringing back this or that.
Well, this isn't really that as much as it is.
Sorry. Okay.
It kind of is. So
because we hadn't done that in a long time.
we haven't. Yeah, and I need to. Those stories seem to happen to me in the summer more than they do in.
We're getting there though.
Oh, we're getting there.
It's because you leave your house a little more.
I do. Football makes me leave the house.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
So we have. So I've got just a small little smidget thing about Nashville that I thought was kind of funny, and then we were going to talk about the judicial system, or we can jump right into sports at this point.
You know what I want to do? Here's what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to do Nash Vegas.
Okay.
And then let's do the sports. We can talk about the judicial system.
Yep, because that's probably a longer conversation.
That's going to be a long conversation.
I got you.
We could do judicial system and your introverted, extroverted ways on a show.
There we
sometime.
go.
That'd be good.
There we go.
So let's talk about Nash Vegas. I'm ready.
Be in tears by the end. I'll lay down. I'll lay down for that episode.
We'll play the crying game. It'll be okay.
So
do you really want to hurt me?
So they did this. I don't know how they did this study. I don't know anything about the study.
Okay.
But so
this was done in Nashville.
This was done nationally.
Okay.
And so they ranked cities as the worst weed cities in the United States. And I found an interesting correlation here. But so Nashville was ranked 15th as the worst weed cities in the United States. And I don't know if that's quality. They did say that per ounce you pay more.
Well, I thought
Nashville.
you meant like weeds in like the grass.
No.
Like the plant. I'm teasing.
I know you did. So it's
and don't smoke that. You'll be sick as crap.
Oh yeah, don't smoke the crabgrass.
Oh, okay, keep.
If Nabison doesn't work,
right,
smoke the crabgrass. So Nashville was ranked 15th in the U.S. for the worst weed cities.
That's very interesting.
And it was because of the price and then I guess the quality.
Oh, they're proud
weed.
of their stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So, but
interesting.
They also made another list, which you cannot tell me doesn't correlate. They also per capita
restaurants
are 15th in the nation in Taco Bell's per capita.
Stop.
I'm not kidding.
I thought you were going to say Papa John's. I was like, hey, Peyton Manning's a great businessman. He bought all those out in Colorado.
So, so all the people smoking weed and Taco Bell open
They want that
2
they
a.m.
want that grilled cheese burrito.
They get the
thing
munchies.
that looks disgusting on the
Can I tell
commercial.
You? Can I tell you about that thing though?
Did you eat it?
It is the best thing that I've ever eaten. I know what it looks like. I know.
You lying.
I know. No.
Really?
You have to try it. It's amazing.
Really?
It is absolutely amazing.
Does it look like it does on the commercial?
No. Well, nothing does. I mean, when I go to Burger King and get a burger,
right?
I'm like, wait a minute, this
is not what I saw on the TV.
This looks like a piece of shit. What?
Right?
Okay, I'm going to eat it, but
all right.
But no. So Nashville ranks 15th in the nation.
Weed and Taco Bell.
Weed and Taco Bell. Right?
Do you know who was number one?
I do not know. I actually was going to put that on my list here, but
that's okay. And
I got so enamored.
I was just curious who actually took the prize home for worst weed in the nation. I would think that would also correlate with the level of crime, potentially. So I mean, off the top of my head, I'd be guessing like, okay, is it Detroit? Is it Memphis? Is it Chicago? You know, because those are always in the top 3 of most violent places in America.
Yeah.
And they kind of rotate around.
Was it Richmond, Virginia, up there at one point in time? Like crime-wise?
Yeah, I think it actually was.
I know
crazy.
I know they created an entire bypass for Richmond, and if I'm driving that way in Virginia, I take the bypass. Like, I am not going through Richmond. No, thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
I've driven through Richmond.
Yeah, I have
I've
too.
never stopped at Richmond. I don't know anything about it. The Richmond Spiders, that's their basketball team, their school. That's all I know.
Well, you know, the Carolina Panthers, Richmond and Norfolk, Virginia, were in the running.
Oh, wow.
For that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
They made a good choice with
I think they made
Charlotte.
A great choice there. Although it'd have been great to have a team in Virginia when I was growing up. even though I wouldn't have pulled for him.
I was going to say, but you wouldn't have rooted for him. Look at the montage.
No, it's a Niner.
There's no way.
I'm all Niners all the time.
I get that, brother.
I do remember moving when I moved back from Virginia Beach. Family came and helped move.
Yeah.
And my brother Jerry drove the big truck, and
It's Jerry Jones for you at home.
It is, and well, he is a Cowboys fan. Jerry is. So
How about that? Oh, how does that work?
and
out?
so he took the wrong exit. Well, actually, he just wasn't supposed to take an exit. He just took an exit, and he ended up in downtown Richmond trying to navigate this ridiculously large moving truck or whatever. And I'm at a rest stop where we had identified that's where we would meet, and I had a cell
waiting
phone.
on Jerry.
Yeah.
And
So
Jerry's in downtown.
So I'm
Richmond.
there, and I'm just like waiting around, and like he's downtown
man.
Richmond, but
Just hanging out.
yeah, but
Jerry!
yeah. So if
Did he say, "Oh, Seth"?
yeah, oh my,
Hello.
yeah, I
Hello?
think it was my watch talking to me.
Hello.
Yeah, I think it was my watch.
And that's very unprofessional. Professional broadcaster, man.
Oh right.
I think that was your wife.
Oh, it may have been. Maybe she was. Maybe it was. I thought my watch will sometimes like think I'm asking it a question and it's trying to answer, but it also could have been her as well. She's pretty loud. She is. She knows. I tell her all the time. She can't do anything quiet. Doesn't matter. Listen, I am like a mouse. Okay, like I can get up, get ready for work, and people could be asleep around me in the floor, and I would not wake anyone up because I'm so quiet. She can get up and just stretch and go back to sleep and wake the entire house up just because it's just, I don't know.
It's like a hurricane.
She's loud. I don't know.
Mama March. That's it. So
Anyway, so Nashville, if you want to spend way too much on your weed, you can go to Nashville, but
or
also,
14 other options for you.
or you can go to, but once you buy the weed, then
Get the grilled cheese burrito.
You get the grilled cheese burrito. You can swing a dead cat and hit a Taco Bell.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was a funny correlation.
Nashville. I bet Memphis is in the top 10.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Memphis.
We'll move to sports. And
Speaking of Memphis,
speaking of Memphis,
the Grizz are down 3. No,
of-
they're up 2-1, tied 1-1 with the Lakers, tied 1-1 with the Lakers.
yeah.
That's not what we're talking about. Move on. Moving along. Giannis
Well-
got hurt, and I thought my Bucks' chances were gone, but he's coming back. So it's
Yeah,
okay.
I
So we're
saw that.
okay.
He hurt his
So we're
back or whatever,
hurt-
so-
Yeah, he landed pretty bad. But anyway, they're going to be okay. He's going to be okay. So anyway, so sports though, like stuff we really want to talk about.
So college football changed the rule
about that?
this week, except for Division III. I think Division III flipped the rule. I think they went from the old rule to the rule where the clock would actually stop. But so on
They
first
just wanted to
downs,
be different.
on first downs, you get about 15 to 20 seconds, and the clock would stop when you get a first down in college football. Now it will not. It will run just like it does in the NFL, as it should, in an effort to speed up the game, and in an effort just to be logical. Like, why would you stop the clock to get a first? I mean, you build like a lot of suspense at the end of the game because teams with one timeout still has time to go down or whatever.
Right,
But
right.
some of these games do last a really long time.
Right. And again, I mean, and did they? And I didn't read it in depth. Is it just like the NFL where even in the last 2 minutes the clock is still going to run unless you kill the clock or call timeout, or is it going to stop in the last 2 minutes?
I do think in the last 2 minutes it reverts back to the
Okay.
You get like
so it still gives them, because I mean NFL that's hard. I mean because
yeah.
if you don't have any timeouts, the clock is not stopping.
the Dallas Cowboys against the Niners in the
Right.
playoffs
I mean
2 years ago.
That's it. Exactly.
But
Not that we're keeping score.
Dak Prescott said, "Yeah, well, we got 8 seconds left. Yeah, I'm going to run a quarterback draw." And the Niners defense is like, "We'll let you run
It's like,
to the
yes,
1 yard
please,
line."
please do that.
And it's like, "Oh, he was wide open to run." It's like, "Yeah," because they're like, "Yeah, run to the 1 yard line. We don't care. You're going to get tackled, and we're going to win the game."
And the game's over. So it doesn't matter.
But yeah, so they changed the rule.
I think that's a good thing.
And from what I've seen, most coaches were in favor of it. They're like, "Yeah, okay, that's fine."
Yeah, speed the game up some.
Yeah.
Less fatigue, less chance for injury.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
Yeah, so I think it's good, and I'm pretty sure in the final 2 minutes it'll revert back to the clock stops for like I forget.
I think that's how it should be. That'd be that's good. But that's good
as you get a first down. But there were some naysayers on it to say, hey, listen, the problem with this is if you're in a 2-minute offense or a 4-minute offense is what they call it now, and you're driving down the field, when you get a first down, the sticks have to move. The officials have to spot the ball.
and the clock's still rolling.
So it does take time, and then your play clock is rolling. So as you're running down the field from your 30-yard gain, you're going to lose 8 seconds, but it'll be the same on both sides, so it doesn't matter.
But some of that is retraining your personnel, though, because I do feel like the NFL does a pretty dang good job of getting the ball spotted quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And the chains are moving, and I don't feel like you miss a ton of that.
I don't either.
For whatever reason. But I think that's also they're just used to it. But I mean, I think if you retrain your personnel, you can correct that.
Well, and football teams practice this. Like,
right.
This
well,
is
that's
not,
true. I mean,
football teams practice this sort of thing. Like this is not, this is, you practice this all the time. You practice like red zone. You practice 2-minute drill, 4-minute drill. Like you practice this. So you like have a series of plays that the players know, here are the only 10 plays we're going to call. Like this is it.
Right.
And, and you line up and you run it. So, and just don't waste your timeouts,
And it makes it a little more intriguing too, because you're not going to go for the middle of the field quite as often because the clock's going to keep running. So, I mean, you're looking more for out routes and things like that. So that's going to be interesting too, in terms of defensive setup and just what you're, because you're going to be shutting that off.
Yeah.
Whereas in college now it's harder because basically you can throw the ball anywhere as long as you got the first down.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, but if it still stops in the last 2 minutes, I mean, that's going to save them too.
I think so.
I think that's a good rule change. I think it's trying to speed the game up is helping. It's just like I think the pitch clock's a legit thing. I think that's decent in baseball.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's getting hurt, but I do think it's cutting down on the game time, and that's good.
I think they changed this rule back in 2006 too. I mean, it's been a long time.
Been a while, but yeah. Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, we're looking at like 17 years of this rule or whatever. So
bet on it.
People
be complaining.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's funny. As soon as it comes down to the wire and this goes against somebody, some big team, this will be a problem.
It's funny. It's funny you say bet. That rolls into the next subject. Look at that.
How would I have ever known?
Look at that.
Look at that segue.
Right.
Speaking of bet on it, here's what you don't do, folks. Don't bet. Don't bet on NFL if you play it in the NFL. Or if you do that, don't bet on it in a team's facility. Yeah. And don't bet on your team. Does anybody not remember Pete Rose?
I was going to say, somewhere Pete Rose read this article and he was like, really?
I mean, and what really probably, if I was Pete Rose, I'd be super mad. These guys just got, I don't know if they were going to be Hall of Famers. I mean, Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer, but, they got released. Okay.
Yeah.
They got a year suspension. Pete Rose got banned for life.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, one of the greatest players that's ever played.
Hall of Famer. It's stupid.
It's so stupid. You remember Jim Gray interviewing him and like said, and basically said, well, I think people were pretty upset with you that you won't talk about it or whatever. It's like, Jim Gray, it's the World Series. They invited Pete Rose back. Don't be a jackwad.
Yeah. And he was.
Because that's Jim Gray. He's just a jackwad.
He is.
He is. Took the opportunity, and it's one of the few times that Al Michaels actually criticized somebody. Al Michaels, who is friends with Pete Rose, because he did Cincinnati baseball. That was like one of his first gigs.
That's right.
He was friends with all those guys. Like in his book, he talks about spending a lot of time with Pete Rose, and Al was pretty upset about that. He's like, dude, come on. I mean, I get it's journalism, but dude, come on. It's the World Series. You're interviewing Pete Rose. Just say, Pete, we're glad to have you back at the World Series. How does it feel? Enjoy yourself, whatever. Don't say, you bet on baseball, Pete. Let's talk about that. Pete Rose should have just slugged him. Probably it's not like he gets suspended again.
Probably some good self-control that he didn't.
Probably. Because Pete Rose was, at that point in time, still a big dude. And it's like, he's going to jack you up.
Well, And Jim Gray is not, he's not a very formidable opponent.
No, you don't look at Jim Gray and say, "Whoa,
Like, Jim,
whoa, Jim, don't come after me."
you probably need a sandwich, Jim. You might need to eat. I'm just saying, or hit the gym. Hit the
gym, Jim.
Little bit of workout. Nothing
Jim went to the gym.
I don't know.
So
betting on football gets you in trouble.
Yeah, so 4 players from the Lions, they've been suspended for violating the NFL's gambling policy. And then there was somebody else too.
It was a guy for the Redskins. Washington Washington Commanders. My apologies.
Right.
I really am sorry. I can't. Yeah, it was one of the guys for the Commanders.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can't say the word Redskins anymore.
I know.
The word Redskins you can't say.
I know.
All the words you can say.
All the other words you can say.
The word Redskins
you can't say.
Yes.
The Washington football team Commanders.
The football team that formerly known. It should be like Prince. They should have a symbol. It should be
Taff Cap.
Yeah.
Taff Cap. The football team formerly known as the Redskins. That's like Tifakatar.
Yeah. I can just tell you this. If I was like a sponsor of that stadium or everything, I'd be like, yeah, we're done. I'm not touching you guys with the 10-foot pole. They sold the team and everything. So they basically forced Dan Snyder out.
Yeah.
And they brought in a guy who looks just like Dan Snyder, and his wife looks like Dan Snyder's wife. Like it's like they just. I really think that Dan Snyder went and had some work done, and his wife did. And
It's like
they came
Face
back.
Off or something.
Yeah.
It's like, that did kind of freak me out a little bit.
It was weird.
Because I was like, oh, they actually kind of look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Snyder was kind of a Weasley-looking dude, and his wife was pretty, which one would expect when someone's a billionaire. And then they brought in somebody who looks a little Weasley, and his wife's attractive, and like same hair color.
Here's my question.
Like, this is weird.
Do you really think Dan Snyder's that upset?
No.
I mean,
No.
I would say no.
I think he's done with it. He'll write a book about the whole thing and make another $20 million or something because I'll read it because, well, I won't read it. I'll listen to it. I don't read books anymore.
Still counts.
It does.
Still counts.
Yeah. Still get the knowledge. Still get the info.
Yeah, I think with time, as more stuff comes out, I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I will be interested to know what happened behind the scenes, and I don't know. I think that whole thing just bothered me. But
Speaking of cultural things,
yeah,
because I mean, obviously, a lot of repeat offender things that he did. Toxic workplace. So let's talk about my favorite. We'll just transition on into the basketball. Let's talk about Draymond.
yeah,
So I'm not a Draymond Green fan. I have never been a Draymond Green fan. I did not like him at Michigan State. I have never liked, and it's nothing personal. I'm going to say this again. It is nothing personal. I just don't like him. I don't like his attitude. I'm not saying he's not a good player. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean, the guy is an ass.
yeah.
But he relishes in it. So I mean, he's not in denial. The guy's not in denial.
Sure.
I mean, so you give him. I'll give him credit for that. But I mean, that stomp. I mean, that made Christian Laettner look like he gently patted Amino Timberlake's chest. I mean, he basically stomped on him and jumped off of him.
Yeah.
And picked his foot up just enough. I mean, the guy had a chest contusion. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Don't be twisting somebody's foot, okay? Sabonis, don't be an idiot. Don't grab one of the more aggressive players in the NBA's foot and try to be jacking around with him.
Right.
But, Draymond, come on, man. You keep doing these silly things, and it didn't make a difference because the Warriors won. They won the dadgum game the other night.
Yeah.
So it didn't affect them. I mean, they just set out and anyway, and Steph Curry had an awesome game. But man, that guy, I mean, come on, stop doing this mess. And then like egging the crowd on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You just, just cultural. I don't know.
The problem that I had with it was where ESPN went with it. Oddly enough, I had a problem with ESPN.
No.
And they were just like outraged that he was suspended. I'm like, you're outraged? He stepped on someone.
Right.
I haven't read the rules. I've never read the rules in basketball, but I want to bet you that stepping on people is not something that's allowed.
Right. And they have intensified this. I mean, again, you go back in the 90s, that's a technical foul. I mean, like I said, Leitner
Right.
steps on Timberlake's chest. And if you look at how aggressive it was back then versus what happened with him, it is a different thing. I mean, he was definitely,
Right.
and I mean, and they gave Sabonis a technical because he was pulling on his foot.
Yeah.
So don't pull on his foot. But
Right.
dude, you didn't have to stomp on his chest.
You didn't, and so like, and then James Harden gets ejected the other night because he hit a guy in the nuts. And I've watched the video 100 times. It really doesn't look
I know,
bad
and
at
that,
all.
and-
I think the thing to me is the complaint by the players now are like, here's how many flagrant twos that were called all year, like 22 all year or whatever. And now in the playoffs, it's like, it is the playoffs. It's to find the best team in the NBA. It goes on too long anyway. But we should, I mean, so the officials are actually officiating games now tighter, and you're upset about that? Then play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
right.
I don't understand.
Just don't find yourself in those situations.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, and it just drives me crazy.
Yeah,
It just drives me crazy.
and I mean, in Draymond, I mean, the outrage, I can't believe he was suspended. This dude, I read his rap sheet in the NBA. I forget how many times he's been ejected, but it's double digits. It's double digits. Flagrant fouls, double digits.
And Joe Dumars, executive vice president for the
Yeah.
NBA, and very well respected. Always
Oh, yeah.
has been. Always has been. And I was not a Pistons fan, but I always liked Joe Dumars.
I like to hear him get introduced.
Nobody ever says bad stuff about Joe Dumars. They don't. It just doesn't happen. And he said, body of work on this definitely played a factor. The fact
Yeah.
that he was egging the crowd on
Yeah.
definitely played a role. And so, I mean, you have it's the habitual nature of things. He's just not a good guy.
No.
He's just not.
No.
And
I don't know how he's still on that team anyway.
well, they keep talking about that is, when's it coming to an end? And I think the way that they get broken up is I think he's the first one to go from this dynasty.
Yeah.
I think he goes, and then I think Steph Curry probably hangs around for the whole career, but I think he goes, and then some of those pieces like Jordan Poole and some of those guys go.
Yeah.
I think Clay ends up going somewhere, maybe chasing another championship type of thing. I think Steph probably stays there for his whole career and retires, but I think everybody else goes. That's what I think.
Do you think it's LeBron's last year?
No. I still think in LeBron's mind, he is going to try to manipulate something so that for 1 year he and Bronny can play on the same team together.
Maybe.
I don't think he's going to be able to do this because Bronny keeps getting better.
Yeah.
And the better he gets, the harder that's going to be for them to end up potentially on the same team together. But I really think for one season, somehow I think he wants that to be what happens.
So this was just the other day, and again, I was at the gym. I run 30 miles every day at the gym.
Because you're tough. Tough man. Dave man. Marathon man.
Maybe it wasn't 30.
Quiet as a mouse.
Maybe it was a little less than 30. But anyway, so I'm on the treadmill
And
doing.
Lindsay's loud at everything.
Yes, she is. When she's here. And so there's a wall of TVs there while
Yes.
I'm on the treadmill,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I was watching
The wall of ADD.
the wall of ADD, and I was watching some just ESPN stuff, and I'm reading the closed captioning because I'm actually listening to.
A book on tape?
No, actually, I was listening to music, but I think I was specifically listening to Aerosmith.
Sweet.
Emotion, and hey-o! And so they were talking about like NBA players, current NBA players were polled. I don't know if you saw this or not, asking who the greatest of all time was, and it was overwhelmingly MJ.
MJ.
It wasn't even close. So it's like even
Yeah, because they did who was most overrated, and Trae Young was number one.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, just call him out.
right.
But man can't play defense. I mean, he plays none. It's bad. And so I think that's part of it. It's like, well, yeah, he can shoot the lights out, but he shoots 70 times a game and he can't play any defense.
The thing about LeBron was when he was in Cleveland originally, he came out of high school, went to the Cavs, made that, did a lot for that city. He really did. I mean, he's a very charitable guy.
Yep.
And everything.
His school is there.
It was
the different, all the things.
Yeah, it's just the night that he did the
announcement, the decision.
The decision. And he decided, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
I'm going to take my
You sold
talents to the old
sponsorships
South
for this.
Beach.
You just, I mean, like, dude, you're just not. And he goes there and they load that place up, right, with talent. And then I think they lost to the Spurs in the first time they got to the
He got two rings there.
Yeah.
Now, it did start his dynasty where he was going to the finals every year.
Yeah. That's true.
And then, of course, he went back to Cleveland. And, of course, they lost to the Warriors, but they also beat the Warriors.
Mm-hmm. After being down 3-1.
Yeah.
He came back and won with Jordan Love and
Kevin Love.
Bill Love.
Kyrie Irving.
Dr. Love. They were calling him.
Tristan Thompson.
Yeah. A lot of
Dude
talent.
Love. You remember Dude Love?
Yes.
Dude Love. Cactus Jack. Mick Foley. Anyway. Yeah, so, but, and then he got another one with the Lakers. So, I mean, he's won 4 rings with 3 different teams, across 3 different teams. But,
yeah.
But, yeah, they loaded that team up. And, honestly, I mean, probably underachieved a little bit, which that's easy for me to say. I mean, they still got some rings.
Yeah.
And and the Heat continue to do well. I mean, Eric Spoelstra continues to have them consistent. So I think that speaks to him being he is a good coach.
Yeah.
But that whole, it's just Now I'll give this one thing. You don't see LeBron doing dirty crap. You don't see him. Oh, hey. That was our text message strand.
It was. There you go. See?
I have on pants.
I have on pants. Yeah.
Do you want a biscuit? I consume 920 calories a day. I consume 1,300 a day. ADD moment. Anyway, I'm not a Draymond fan.
I'm not either. I'm just. Do you want to know something sad? So last weekend, Steven and I, my oldest, we kind of like watching Golden State because I like watching Steph Curry because I mean and it's just truly for the entertainment value because the guy can hit shots from anywhere on the floor and it's unbelievable how
I like him. I like Klay Thompson.
And I mean I'm just thinking of him when he was like,
they could not beat the Bulls. I have to say that every single time. They could not beat the Bulls. It would not happen.
No.
It would not happen.
No,
would not happen. But yeah, he and Klay Thompson, awesome.
It's unbelievable to watch them. But like so last weekend they were playing and it was getting close. It was down to the wire, right? But UFC was on as well, like UFC Fight Night.
Yes,
and so we actually chose to watch UFC and not the NBA.
That's understandable.
And it's just, I mean, I'm just not. I just can't do it anymore. I just can't. I really want to love basketball in general because I used to really love basketball. I love to play. If my heart doesn't give out on me when I do, but I love to play. And I think it's fun to shoot hoops. And I'm like, I think it's fun. And it's fun to watch. I don't watch college basketball until the tournament. I just don't.
See, I love college basketball.
I know, and I want to.
If I wasn't cheap, I would have me some UT season tickets, but I'm cheap.
How much are those now?
I don't even know.
That's
they ain't cheap. And I'm cheap.
I mean, I wouldn't have UT tickets, but
shut up, man.
No,
man, that's my school.
Maybe the Lady Vols. I don't know.
You just like Kelly Harper. Yeah,
I like those twins from Miami.
Stop! Oh my goodness, the Cavender twins.
Woo.
Moving on to whatever else they're moving on to,
which will be a lot of money.
They did forego. They're going to join the WWE.
Are they really?
They have a contract with them, and that I guarantee you they're going to.
How about that?
They're going to put them in there. Mm-hmm.
Wow!
You'll be watching that.
I will be watching if they go to the WWE. You know who else went to the WWE? Was Casey Catanzaro.
Yeah.
From American Ninja Warrior.
Yes.
She was like the first woman to ever get to like stage 50 or whatever.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever it was.
And she was super, and like she's tiny, and she was like super athletic. And I think she was a gymnast at some point in time.
Yep.
And
because she dated one of the other Ninja Warrior guys.
Yeah, Brad Stephenson.
Yes, Stephenson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yo, yeah. I watch American Ninja Warrior every year.
Look at you.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I remember them. I do. Yeah.
Because because a lot of times the people are not overly attractive on that show, but she came out and I'm like, oh, okay. So now she's in the WWE.
How about that?
I forget what her name is. It's like Dirty Whore. No, I don't know what it is.
Dang.
I don't know what it is. But I really don't know. She's got like a new name or something. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to have your character name.
What would your character name be in the WWE?
Peppy Bennett. No, I don't know.
Bart Stillwell.
Oh, man. I don't know. What would you, if you were going to give me, I guess Docalicious. I don't know.
So it depends on the era, right? Like when I was a...
you've thought about this.
Of course. I think about this. I think about this in my porn name all the time. Because you never know.
Real American.
You never know when I had to might have to go to the club and start shooting some videos.
I get you, understand. So all right. So decades. I'm ready for this.
So like if in the 80s...
I didn't see us going here with this, but I like this. Okay.
If it was the 80s, I think I could go with Dangerous Dave.
Oh,
you don't have to put any thought into it in the 80s. You could just be whatever.
I think that'd be Sugar Shane.
I mean, like Tugboat. Really?
Now wait a minute.
How much effort?
But he went bad and became Typhoon.
That's right, Typhoon. And then later, before he retired, you may not know this, he changed his name to Fat Ass. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Didn't he die?
I don't know. Probably they all do.
I think Earthquake died.
I mean, roids will do that to you, man.
Right.
Roids and hamburgers will do that.
Somehow Hulk Hogan's still alive, though.
It's the prayers training and the vitamins.
Those Vita Rays. So Dangerous Dave.
So Dangerous Dave in the 80s.
Okay.
And then the 90s, I might change my name.
When was the Ho Train? Well, that was in the 90s with the Ho Train, the Godfather, and the Ho Train. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
That was I think that was like the 90s.
The Ho Train.
It had the Ho. It was all the women. They call it the Ho Train. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yes, I'd have been Sugar Shane in those days. That's what I would have been. Sugar Shane with the Ho Train. Yeah, no. Anyway, so in the 90s, you would have been what?
So in the 90s, I don't know. Like I feel like in the 90s was like you started getting to like the one word names, right?
Oh, so I couldn't be Sugar Shane?
You could have been. I mean, you still could have been Sugar Shane. That's an easy one to do because of,
Sugar Doc. No,
good boxing. Good boxing.
I could have just been Doc.
Maybe I could have been Big Daddy Dave. How about that?
Daddy Dave.
Yeah. In my 5'6" frame.
Big Daddy Dave.
Big Daddy Dave.
Could have called you Wee Man.
Could have called me Wee
Man.
No,
I think that's copyrighted by Jason Acuna from Jackass.
If I was a little bit shorter, I could go up to Pigeon Forge and wrestle up there.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her.
Actually, I just wish I was taller.
Skee-Lo. Remember Skee-Lo?
Yes, I do.
Skee-Lo. So you'd have been, okay.
So I would have been, I would have been Big Daddy, like Big, what was the guy?
Big Show.
No.
It's the Big Show.
There was another guy too. The big. He was one of the Steiners.
Big Papa Pump.
Big
is your hookup.
Papa Pump.
Big Papa Pump.
Big Papa Royd. Yeah, that guy.
Scott Steiner.
Because he. Oh my God.
Rick and Scott Steiner.
He completely changed
the
his
dog
look.
face gremlin.
He was
Rick Steiner.
Yeah. So Scott
Big
was
Papa
like
Pump, and he had that
Oh yeah.
chain. Crap on his
Egyptian kind of chain. And then because he completely changed his look.
Yes.
Like he was like Mr. Aw shucks, I used to wrestle in college. To
Big Papa Pump with his dyed mustache and everything. Yes.
And the dude was so roided.
Big Papa Pump is your hookup.
He was so roided up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then in the 2000s, I don't know. Like there was really crafty names in the 2000s. Like I don't know, people were like Blade and Edge. And
You could have been Manzilla.
Manzilla. Oh.
And in today's world, you'd be DM.
Probably.
The DM.
Probably.
Dave, man, the DM.
The DM.
The DM. DM him. DM.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. What would yours have been in the 90s?
Dr. Death.
Well, that was taken.
Oh, it was taken.
Yeah, Steve Williams.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, he took it.
I don't know. Sugar Shane would have been in there somewhere. I don't know. I got nothing, man.
Nothing?
Moses.
Dr. Love?
Moses, Dr. Love. I love you,
Moses.
brother love. Moses.
You could have done the whole thing, come out and like the whole
Yes.
garb and, you know.
Yes, the tablets. He
Had-
broke
had
the
the-
tablet over his head. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You know, we can't resurrect him.
The ring could have been red.
That's it, right?
Yeah, so, like,
right?
you could-
Right?
yeah.
Look at you.
Oh.
They should have had you doing storylines.
They should have. Listen, I could have come up with all.
That's all.
You could have had. You could have like
Moses.
You could have had Captain Chlamydia. That would have been fun. Nobody.
He put him in the clap.
His finishing move would have been very questionable. What's he doing to me?
He put him in the skin flute. Oh, my God.
What was it? Tugboat that used to sit on their face? Was it that what it
That
was?
was Earthquake.
It was Earthquake.
Earthquake sat on he sat on their chest.
Not their face. Did that not happen?
Only if he missed. And then they got an anal snuffleupagus.
There was one guy
a
that used to
teabag.
take his butt and rub it on their face.
No.
No, yes, there was. There
was not.
There was 100%. And he called it something. Like he called it like the stinky something. I'm not kidding. This is 100% accurate. I'm not kidding. Hang on. I'm looking it up.
No, there's no.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, this went way where I never.
Rikishi.
He did not put
Yes,
him
he
in the
did.
stink face.
Here is what.
No,
Here's what
you're
I.
a liar.
Here's what I. Hang on. Here you go. Here you go. You can see this screen. There you go. Wrestler that rubbed his butt on people. Rikishi. That was his move. That was his thing.
Oh, hailing from parts unknown, Rikishi.
It's called the steak face. That's what it's called. He's rubbing his butt on people's face. Oh my God.
I think I need a different job. I'm going to apply for Kathleen's job with the
Right.
rat mitigation. That can be the finishing maneuver on the rats. Put them in the stink face.
Wait, who comes up with that storyline? It's like, all right, let's see. You want to call yourself Rikishi?
Pat Patterson.
Okay, so it's like,
Pat Patterson.
so it's like
Pat Patterson.
What's going to be your finishing move? How about I rub my butt cheek in your face? Yes, yes. Do you think there was some etiquette there? Like if he was going to wrestle that day, he couldn't go to the restaurant.
He had to have a
that day?
Brazilian wax.
Or like he had to have some bleaching.
How's that anal condyloma working out for you? Well, I put some salve on it. They swabbed me. Think it's okay.
Like if they wrestled in Nashville, he accidentally ate at Taco Bell and didn't wrestle till like 9:00, and then bad things happened. I don't know. Can you imagine
And here's the finishing maneuver: the Hershey squirt.
the Hershey Highway? Can you imagine, like, you're looking at who you're going to wrestle in, like, the next big pay-per-view, and you're like, no, man, I don't want to wrestle
I don't want to
him.
deal with the stink face.
I don't want to get stink-faced.
Rikishi. Can't believe.
He's eating beef jerky and cabbage soup in the locker room. This will be over in a minute, don't worry.
Oozing the pus of justice. Hey, folks, I'm gonna call it on that one. I can't believe Rikishi
And the stink face.
and the stink face.
It's the stink face, man. I mean,
Thank you all for listening. We really do appreciate it. New York, Canada, Tennessee,
yeah, Virginia,
stink face,
stink face.
Rikishi. I hope Rikishi listens to this one because that might resurrect his career.
I'd love to have the guy on the
We
show.
appreciate y'all.
I'd love to have old Stinker on the show.
We'll bring it back. We'll bring the thunder from down under next week. Bye.
Hershey Squirt.
Bye.
See you, folks.